Satnam Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to everybody who is arriving at the moment. And today the program is called Your Miracle Mantra Moment. And if you have been here before, you know that this is about us using the shabad Dhan Ramdas Guru Jin Siriyatine Savadiya as a meditation to connect to compassion and healing and understanding, connecting to Guru Ramdas, connecting to the divine. And so we're going to be doing that in just a few minutes. But I wanted to give you a little overview of today's program. So we're going to chant the mantra, the shabad, and then we are going to talk a little bit about some history connected to Guru Ramdas. And then at about half an hour time, we will be welcoming in a guest into our program. His name is Mandeep Singh, and he is the Chief Executive Officer of a wonderful non-profit organization called the Dasvandh Network. And so he and I are going to be talking about the efforts that are ongoing in India to bring relief to the COVID-19 situation there. And so that's what we will be doing in the second half of this program today. And so I hope you'll have questions for Mandeep Singh about that. You know, if you're wanting to understand something about what's going on, what's needed. And he works very closely, or that organization, his organization, works very closely with another group called Khalsa Aid. And they've been doing a lot of work on the ground in various places in the world, but definitely at this moment in India, definitely connecting to the issues of COVID-19. So we'll be talking about that. And I want to welcome some of our regulars, Inderkaur and Ravinder and Kirandeep and Nivedita and Mahan Sangeet. And so those of you who are regulars, you'll know that when we do this chanting of Dhan Ramdas Guru, I like to remind you that you can do this simply sitting, listening, if that's all you want to do, or you can meditate, chant along, sing along with the words. If you don't know the words, Kirandeep Kaur has been so gracious as to put the words into the chat. And so you can look there if you need to. And this is a shabad that was written about Guru Gobind Singh, or in praise, Guru Ramdas, or in praise of Guru Ramdas, and the other preceding gurus. It was written by two musicians, Balwand and Sata, and they did this on the occasion of them being welcomed back into the court of Guru Arjan. And so I've told that story in more detail. You might want to go back to one of the early programs if you missed it. All the programs are recorded and available through either our YouTube channel, Sikh Dharma International YouTube channel, or also on our Facebook page. So you should be able to find any of those programs there. And some other people who have arrived, welcome to you. Sita Bhakti from Germany, and Lena from Portugal, and Bhuban Bag. So welcome to you all. And no doubt we'll have others arriving during the program. So as I said, we're going to start with the chanting. There's another way that you can do this chanting, and that is as a meditation to release your fear of the future. Now, maybe you don't have that. Maybe you do. We can call it anxiety or worry or just concern about what may be happening in your life or in the world at the moment. So this is done by taking the right thumb up in the air like that and wrapping the left hand gently around that thumb. And so you make it kind of like a fist, but it's gentle. It's not, you're not squeezing. And then you take the right fingers and bring them up along the back of your left hand. Sorry, a little tied up here with the microphone. And you position that just gently near the center of your heart, or the center of your chest, I should say. And your elbows are relaxed at your sides. And you can close your eyes if you know the words, or if you want to keep them open to look at the words, that's up to you. But this is a meditation that will help you release that anxiety. And so if that's what's helpful to you, you can do it that way. All right, we're going to start now. Dhan, Dhan, Ramdas Guru. Dhan, Dhan, Ramdas Guru. Jin Siriya Dine Savariya. Jin Siriya Dine Savariya. Dhan, 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 Ramdas Guru. Dhan, Dhan, Ramdas Guru. Ramdas Guru. Puri hoi karmat apsirjan hare Sirjan hare tariya sikhi aate sangati par brahm kar naam sakariya sikhi aate Samgati Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakariya Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakariya Par Brahm Kar Naam Sakariya. Ramdas Guru. Dhan, Dhan, Ramdas Guru. Jin Siriya Dine Savariya. Jin Siriya Ramdas Guru, Ramdas Guru. Atal Atao Atu Tu Tera Ant Par Maria Atal Atao Atu Tu Tera Ant Par जिन्नी तू सेवियां बाकार से टूल पार उतारिया जिन्नी तू सेवियां बाकार से टूल पार Kande tund sapar mania Lam loma Kam krodh moh Mar kande tund sapar mania Dhan so tera सच तेरा पैस कारिया तन सो तेरा तान है सच तेरा पैस कारिया सच तेरा पैस सच तेरा पैसा रमता सुरो रमता सुरो तिन सिरिया तिन समारिया तिन सिरिया तिन समारिया तन रमता सुरो Ramdas Nanak tu lehna tu hai Gur Amar tu vichariya Nanak tu lehna tu hai Gur Amar tu Ditatman sadariya Gur ditatman sadariya Gur ditatman sadariya Gur ditatman Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So I want to welcome those of you who have just been arriving while we were chanting, while we were singing the shabad. And let's move this over a little bit. There we go. Okay, yes, Margaret, welcome. Wilma, Victoria, Satkirtan, Gurashish Singh, and I think that's it. So welcome all of you. Nice to have you with us today. And what I wanted to just let everybody know is that in a few minutes, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be having a guest. And his name is Mandeep Singh. And he is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the Dasvandh Network. And that is a nonprofit organization that raises money and helps connect a lot of different organizations together to do really good work on the ground, helping where that is needed. So we're going to talk with him about that, and especially about the situation in India right now around COVID-19 and how that's in a very difficult place right now. And he's going to talk about efforts being made through another organization called Khalsa Aid. So we're going to be talking with him about that. In the meantime, I wanted to just connect to a story about Guru Ramdas. And that was that during the time of Guru Ramdas, there was a new emperor. And his name was Akbar. And he was very enlightened. And unfortunately, you know, that pendulum of enlightenment and fanaticism and repression seemed to go back and forth with several of these emperors during this time in India. These were Islamic, you could say, Persian forces that had come into India, invaded India, and had taken control of most of India. And so Emperor Akbar was, as I said, quite enlightened, and he was really accepting of other religious paths. And so someone in his court had mentioned that he should really meet Guru Ramdas, the current guru or leader of the Sikh community based in Amritsar. And so he, the emperor, decided to go and visit with Guru Ramdas. And, you know, Guru Ramdas historically is at a very crucial moment in the unfolding of the Sikh history, especially of the Sikh Guru's history, because he is the last of the Gurus who were not related to any of the previous Gurus. So he was a young man who had been an orphan, and he came to Goindwal because he had heard about Guru Amar Das, and he was very poor, but he did a lot of seva. And so young Ramdas, he was known as Bhai Cheta at that time. He did a lot of seva in the Guru's kitchen, and he helped build the well that is still there today in Goindwal. And so he was very much about serving. And in that way, he caught the eye of Guru Amar Das, maybe through Guru Amar Das's wife, who was trying to get their daughter married. And so in looking around for a candidate to marry their daughter, they found this young man. And so they married their daughter to him. And he was given this new name of Ramdas, which basically means servant of God. And so then he continued to serve in the court of Guru Amar Das. And there's a wonderful, getting off too many stories here, but there's a wonderful story about how when it came time for Guru Amar Das to decide who was going to, I'm getting some text just for a moment. I need to just take care of that because that's from our guest, and I want to be sure. And I didn't send him the link, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm sorry. Give me just a moment to do that, and I will send it to him right now. And there we go. Good. All right, so that should work out well. So he'll be coming on in just a moment. And so what I was talking about was this story about how Guru Amar Das decided who would be his successor. And so Guru Amar Das did not have any sons. He had two daughters. And at that time, it was not considered acceptable, customary for a woman to step into that leadership role. And so Guru Amar Das decided to have a closer look at his two sons-in-law by Guru Ramdas, by Ramdas, was married to one of his daughters, and another man, Brahmaji, was also married to the other daughter. And so Guru Amar Das proposed to both of his sons-in-law that they should build him an appropriate platform to sit on when he was delivering his talks or lectures to the Sangat gathered there. And so they both wholeheartedly each created a separate platform, and then Guru Amar Das came to look, and he wasn't happy with either one. He rejected them and said, you have to build it again. And so they both tore down what they had built and built another one. And Guru Amar Das came and looked, and nope, wasn't acceptable. And so they had to tear it down and built a third one. And again, Guru Amar Das came and looked and said, nope, it won't do. And at this point, Bhai Ramaji, the other son-in-law of Guru Amar Das, decided he had enough. And this had tested his patience way too far, and he even perhaps thought that his father-in-law, Guru Amar Das, was maybe going a little senile and didn't know what he was thinking, wasn't clear in his thinking. So he stopped. He said, I'm done, I'm not doing any more. But young Ramdas decided that, of course, he would continue because he wanted to please his guru. So he tore down that third platform, he built it again. Still, it was not acceptable. He built it 7 times until finally Guru Amar Das was satisfied that the dedication, the understanding, the complete surrender to the process that Bhai Ramdas was exhibiting was exactly the quality that he was looking for in his successor. And so that was how Guru Amar Das decided upon his successor to be Guru Ramdas. And I didn't get to tell him the story about the Emperor Akbar's visit, but we'll save that for another day. And I want to bring into the discussion now our guests, so just hold tight here, please. And I am so pleased to welcome Mandeep Singh.
Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I'm going to take these off because that's not going to do me any good anymore. So
I like that I can hear you all right. I like that we were matching though.
Yeah, true. So Mandeep Singh, so nice of you to be able to make time to be with us. I only wish we had had a chance to speak more ahead of time, but here we are, and I am very impressed with the Dasvandh Network, of which you are the Chief Executive Officer, and so great. I'd love for you to tell our viewers a little bit about your organization to start with. That would be great.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for making the time and having us on here. I really appreciate it. I know there's so much going on in the world, and for everybody listening, I'm grateful for everybody's time here today as well. As was mentioned, name's Mandeep Singh. I'm leading the Dasvandh Network. As we all know, Dasvandh is a core part of our faith about giving back our time and our resources and energy to social impact causes and doing better for the world. And so our goal at Dasvandh Network is to inspire giving within the Sikh community so that we all can give back to the activists and organizers that are doing this incredible work on the ground. In the simplest form, we're a website. It's dvnetwork.org. We vet a number of series of projects and activists to be on our website, and it makes it really easy for donors like yourself to go and find a project that you resonate with and give in a trusted and accountable way on our website.
That's great. I'm just putting into the chat the website for dvnetwork.org and also for Khalsa Aid. I know that you also work with Khalsa Aid specifically at this time around COVID relief needed in India. Can you tell us a little bit about that work?
Absolutely, more than happy to. So, at any given point, at any moment in the year, anybody can find a project and give to different activists on our platform. We have at least about 50 different organizations and partners that we have. One of those partners is Khalsa Aid. As we've been following the news and seeing everything that's going on, they've been on the grounds helping with the COVID situation here in the United States, but also abroad since the start of the pandemic. With everything going on in India right now, as we see thousands and thousands of our members of our community affected, Khalsa Aid has been there to help provide key resources and support to different communities there. So right now, Dasvandh is partnering with Khalsa Aid, and we said, hey, can we do our part? How can our donor base, our community do its part to help this work that's happening on the grounds? And so what we're doing particularly is we're collaborating to track down key medical devices, particularly these oxygen concentrators. These are devices that help people breathe, and we've been able to locate 600 through our network. Right now, we're working on getting them shipped to India immediately, and I'm also working on using DVN, our platform, to fundraise to offset the cost of these devices.
That's terrific. I wonder, does your organization, either by itself or with any of your other organizations that you work with, are you actually on the ground in Punjab with any
No,
particular?
No, that's a very good question. To make it clear, so Khalsa Aid is one of our partners. I don't represent Khalsa Aid. I don't speak for them, and we are not on the ground ourselves. That incredible work is being done by the Khalsa Aid India team. What we're doing is just helping get some of these resources and the money so that the team can continue and doing their work the way that the Global Sangat has been kind of backing them right now as well.
And so are you currently still raising funds for that initiative?
We absolutely are. Yes, we've generally for the last couple of days have been raising for Khalsa Aid. Generally, now we're looking to help, asking the community to donate so that they can help contribute to one of these oxygen machines. One of them costs about $500, but on DVN we're also matching donations. So if you go make a $200 donation, a $500 donation, a $20 donation, we will take that and we will match your contribution. And we're using this as a way to inspire more Sangats to get involved and give to this awesome cause.
I can't help but think that that's just so wonderful at this time that any of you watching right now, and if you make any donations to this organization, they will be matching it and virtually doubling your donation. So it's a really good time to help out right now, and I'm sure it can be really appreciated. Mandeep Singh, there's a little noise there, but we're going to do our best. There is maybe a little history you could share of your organization, how long it's been around, who are the primary people involved in your organization?
Yeah, more than happy to. Yeah, excuse any noise. I'm at my favorite coffee shop today.
I'll take a double espresso if you've got it.
It's coming on the way.
Right.
But our organization started in 2011. It started with that exact mission of trying to figure out how we can inspire more and more giving within the community. Historically, we've done about $400,000 money raised every year for activists. Last year, we merged with another group and brought in some new board members. And so we have a new revitalized energy. I joined the organization last year. And so since then, we've been putting more time and effort and energy into the organization to scale it so that more and more people can use it, more and more people can know about us, so that ultimately we have more and more impact in the world.
And are you U.S. based, or are you global? Do you have offices or connections or people in other places in the world?
We are technically right now just U.S. based. We do have activists and organizations projects that we list all over the country. We also accept donations from 13 different countries. But in terms of our physical presence and where we have historically operated, have been U.S. based.
That's terrific. And if people want to get involved beyond just giving money, is there some opening there for that?
Absolutely. We're, what's been one value add that I think that one that we provide for the community is that we like to be facilitators. We like to be this ecosystem and connect folks, and make things happen, even much beyond fundraising as well. We really think about activism and sick activism, and how we can scale that. So if you want to get involved, there's things you can help out with. You want to connect with somebody, please email us. Our email is info@dvnetwork.org. We can put it in the chat as well, but I'm more than happy to talk and collaborate at any point.
And so if anybody would like to invite Mandeep or some other members of his organization to come and speak, I'm assuming that that's something that you would be willing to do.
Absolutely. I see myself as a Sevadar of Sevadars. I'm trying to help people out however I can. And it's in my duty, it's in my role to do that. So whether you want to connect, you want me to talk more about our organization, if you want to help with this specific campaign, I have email templates you can write to your Gurdwara Sangha, social media you can post as well. Whether it's this campaign or in the future, I'd be open for any conversation.
And the oxygen machines, they are manufactured here, or are they manufactured or somewhere else in the world?
That's actually a great question. It's been a logistical challenge actually figuring out this past week what devices work, what they don't, where we can meet that need. There's a voltage issue with the US machines, that they don't work in the same way in India. So what we've been doing, one of our board members has been spending a ton of time, who happens to be in this space, figuring out which vendors we can use and buy in bulk. So the 600 machines that we're raising funds for, 500 of them are coming from China. And they're in the process of being shipped. And then another 100 is coming from Thailand. And this is our initial batch, and this is what we're raising for right now. Khalsa Aid the need might evolve, things might change, we might need more equipment. But right now, the shipment is coming from China and Thailand, and we'll go to India directly.
And how will these machines be used on the ground in India? Do you know much about that?
Yeah, so the Khalsa Aid team, the Khalsa Aid India team, from what I understand, is that they're getting a series of inbound requests from Sanghas all over India who needs help, as they've always been kind of on the front lines of helping out. So that team is basically managing the need and where the need is highest, where the need is coming in first. They're going to take these machines, and based on their knowledge and distribution, they're going to go and give it to the communities that need it. And then, of course, these machines are multiple use, so they're going to find a long-term home for them as well, and figure out how we can use them in the long term.
So these aren't the respirator machines that people go on. They're just simply they produce oxygen. Is that right?
Yep. There's ventilators are a different one. That's a different kind of machine as well. These kind of, from what I understand, use a mask, and they don't require it. They don't require intubation in the same way.
Right.
But and so there is a little bit of that challenge. If we need to switch to ventilators, there's a different kind of process and medical support we need. But right now, these are not ventilators, and they can be used pretty easily by the folks on the ground.
And do they go to medical facilities, or do people have them at their homes?
It's a mix. So from the 500 machines that we're sending, they're a little bit easy to use. They're easy to transport. So those can go to people's homes that might not be able to have access to healthcare, or they can't move in that way. And then the 100 batch that we have, we're trying to get, those are 10 liters rather than 5 liters. And so they're more heavy duty. We're looking to put those in the hospital. Khalsa Aid will put those most likely in hospital institutions where there's multiple people coming in and out, and that can be used pretty regularly throughout the day and the weeks.
And I imagine then more than one person can benefit from the machine at a given time.
Exactly. We're all kind of rushing to get this fundraising and these machines there, but these machines they're heavy duty. They're going to last for a long period of time, and once COVID, if there's a 2-week cycle around it, it can be used for other folks, and especially if you put them in medical institutions, that's a sustainable way to build infrastructure over time.
That's terrific. How did this project, this initiative, how did it come into being? How long has it been that you've been working to get this done?
It's probably been under a week, to be honest. As the situation evolved very quickly. We had partnership with Khalsa Aid. Khalsa Aid has a great brand and recognition and following. The conversation was really about like, hey, it's not about the money, it's about the device. How can we get this device? And that's where it really started. And we were really fortunate. One of our board members, Mandeep Singh, he's in this space, has been in this space for decades, and so we were able to just help facilitate this. But it's really been all the Khalsa Aid team who's been managing and actually doing the distributions. We're just trying to get them these more supplies however we can.
How close are you to realizing your financial needs on this project?
Yeah, so when I started pushing, we were about $250,000 short. I think last time I checked our page, we were about 90 to 100,000. So we have about $150,000 more to raise for these projects. It's been great. This is one of the biggest, most the well-known campaigns because everybody wants to help out right now. We have a lot of our existing donors and our new donors are coming in, but we definitely have a long way to go to kind of make sure that we can help Khalsa Aid cover the cost of these devices.
Yeah, that's great. I just want to take a pause in our discussion to let the viewers know that Mandeep would be very happy to answer any questions you have. I know that Margaret had put a question in there, but later said that it was really focused on a different understanding of the program. So that's fine. But if you are listening and would like to ask about this program, or if you are listening and are inspired to go and make a donation right now, I think that would be a terrific thing. Also, those of you who would like to share this program around to people who might be interested in learning more about the Dasvandh Network and the program that they are working on with Khalsa Aid to get oxygen machines to India, and how you can support that and how others can support it, I encourage you to share this program. If you're on YouTube, also you can share it around. And so let's get back to talking with Mandeep Singh. Mandeep Singh, do you work with organizations, Sikh organizations exclusively, or are you connected to other aid organizations?
That's a great question. So our predominantly the way that we've started this fund network is we're a channel for Sikhs to give. From an activist piece, a lot of our organizations have been Sikh led and in some way are tied to government. However, we are open and do projects and collaborating where the need is wherever is needed the most. So for example, we saw lots of challenges in that the Black community was facing last year, so we helped raise for a Black community organization called BEAM, the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. We've raised money for the ACLU in the past. So right now, as you there was some unfortunate news coming out of Indiana, as well as the shooting we saw. Right now, I'm working on a partnership with the National Compassion Fund, where they help support people to get the funds that they need.
Yeah, thank you. A little noisy. Yeah, I understand. So the shooting in Indianapolis, you said you were helping raise some funds for that.
Yeah, so that partnership's still in the works. We work mainly with organizations and activists, and so we're not giving to the individual right away. So I'm cultivating a relationship with the National Compassion Fund in the next couple of weeks. That would be another campaign and group that I'm looking to fundraise for as well.
That's terrific. It seems that the times are really demanding that we step up and reach out and not just focus on our own little needs, but open our eyes. And I am so happy to hear that you connected to what was going on in this country during this year around Black Lives Matter. And so that's an important place for Sikhs to be present and to be involved. And so I'm very delighted to hear that your organization has been doing that.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add there, I think I absolutely agree. I think because of this current environment, giving has actually gone up, not only on Dasvandh Network, but generally overall. And that's a reflection of the times that we're in. But one thing that I'm thinking and encouraging people is, how can we often give more on a regular basis, right? How can we set up a recurring donation to a group that we really care about? How do we make that a muscle that we're used to doing on a regular basis?
Exactly. And, for Sikhs, it's always been a very clear ideal that we step up into whatever need there exists in our community around us, and give our tenth, our Dasvandh, so that we can help those who are most in need. And it's very inspiring to see the work that you're doing. What's down the road for Dasvandh Network? What's the next thing? What's going to be on the horizon in a year or 5 years?
That's a great question. Our really horizon and our long term plan is, we have about 5,000. We have at least a minimum 5,000 donors that are willing to listen, that hear from us, and that are active on our platform. We know that there's at least 500,000 Sikhs in the U.S. alone. So our overall reach is just a fraction of where we are. We're trying to find ways to really integrate into local sanghats and communities, and be a primary way that people think about giving. And so for us, I see that in the chat, somebody saying, how can we get involved? I'd love to have, different ambassadors and folks that on the ground. So let's say when we're doing this Khalsa Aid campaign, I know I can give you a call and get your local Gurdwara Sahib or your local community to give. And so that's where we're really trying to go. Is we'd love for everybody to spread the word. There's already so many other groups beyond Khalsa Aid on our platform that need funds and aren't funded yet. So that's the growth idea right now, is just how do we get more people to know about us, so then therefore we can get more activism funded on our platform.
And as I understand it, you're really a more virtual organization rather than a physical. You don't have a headquarters per se, but really you are a group of people connecting together in common purpose. Is that right?
That is right. I'm personally based in New York City, so I'd love to connect anybody who's there locally, especially as we get vaccinated and the situation gets better. But yes, our board members are all across the country. Our goal is really to work on the platform and use the platform as a common way of giving. And then over time, especially as we grow and expand, create more physical spaces for congregation as well.
That's terrific. And as our gurdwaras, our religious spaces are slowly coming back into use, perhaps then those of you out there who might want to know more or connect more to Dasvandh Network, you can certainly reach out through their website and see if perhaps someone could come and speak in the Gurdwara, in your local temple, and let the community know more information about what's going on there, so you can support it and your community can support this great work. I think we can wrap it up here. Mandeep Singh, do you have any particular message you want to close with for our listeners?
No, I just wanted to express my gratitude. I appreciate everybody listening and having this moment to be here. I truly believe what makes Sikhi and our Sikh community so powerful is the Panth and this wider network of brotherhood and sisterhood that we have. And this fund is trying to connect as many people as possible to different causes that exist that you might not know about. I encourage you to take a look and not just even on our platform, but just continue to think about how we can continue to give back, especially in this world that we live in that's becoming more and more remote and more separated. How do we find those moments to stay connected, whether it's through fundraising or through virtual ways that this way? So I'm grateful to be here, and I appreciate everybody's support that we have for the Clay campaign or any other campaigns on our platform in the future.
And I encourage everybody to go and check out their website. It does have a lot of information and shows you several of the programs that they are currently supporting and also raising money for actively. So I hope many of you will be able to support those programs, support the Dasvandh Network. And Mandeep Singh, thank you so much for being able to come on today and talk a little bit about your organization and the great work you're doing. I look forward to talking with you more down the road somewhere, perhaps in another program, perhaps just in person somewhere. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So Mandeep, thanks again. So grateful for your time and your information and the good work that your organization is doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Waheguruji ka
Okay.
khalsa, waheguruji ki
Khalsa,
fateh.
Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. So that was our guest today, and I don't need these anymore. And so I am glad that we were able to make time for him to come on and speak. It has been in my mind these last couple of weeks as we've seen the news coming out of India that it'll be great to support any relief activities that are going on. And so I did some research, and Sikh Dharma International has been making some donations for this same relief effort. And so I am hoping that by having Mandeep Singh on as our guest, that perhaps this will encourage more people to reach a little deeper into their pockets and help out with their work. This is the first time for this program that we've brought a guest on who is, doing this kind of thing and raising funds. But I don't find it incompatible with our goals here. I think it feels good to help. And clearly we can't all travel to India. It would make things worse to go there and try to help. But we can certainly give our resources, whether it's money or whether it's finding ways to volunteer and help in their outreach. So I hope that will be something that some of you will consider. And then, somewhere down the road, we might have Mandeep Singh back to see how things have gone and whether there's maybe another program that they are doing that we could get behind. So anyway, I want to let you know that we're going to be taking a week off next week. I won't be here in the broadcast. Those of you who are new to this program, I'll let you know that we've been doing this for over a year now, every Wednesday, and that we have 5 different programs that we rotate through. So today was Your Miracle Mantra Moment, but we have other programs. One is The Roots of Sikh Dharma, where we look at the history and the beliefs and practices of the path of Sikhi. And so there are already 7, I think, episodes that have been recorded of that. So you can find those through our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page. And then the other program that we do is called Home Kirtan and Chat, where I have guest musicians, kirtan musicians, come on and they play some live music. We talk about their music. And so that is a series that I think there's 15 or more of those episodes that you can watch. Some of them may be with musicians that are your favorites. So you may want to check those out. And then we have another program called Dialogues in Dharma. And I think we only have 3 episodes there, but that's a program where we bring in a panel group of people to discuss something to help understand, to bring light to a particular question within Sikhi, or just within humanity at this moment. Our first one was about understanding depression, and another one was about Sikh identity in this time. So these are more gritty topics in that particular program. And so I hope you'll check those out. And I know there's another program that I'm not remembering at the moment. Oh yes, Learn a Shabad. So this is a program that we've been doing, and I think we have 5 or 6 of those recorded. And that's where you can actually learn to sing a Shabad. If you are new to Kirtan, new to Shabad, singing Shabads, then you will find those programs, I think, helpful because they're pretty basic. They are mainly focused on learning to play with a harmonium, although at least one of those programs does include how to play it on the guitar. So if you're musically oriented or if you're interested in developing that skill within yourself, then those programs may be of use to you. And others, perhaps you know people who would like that. So I encourage you to check out those recordings. If you are one of our regulars, I want to say how important your presence has been to me, and I think to everybody else who is a regular on this program. I feel definitely connected to a group of people around the world who come to these programs and feel like we have a sangat, a gathering of spiritually minded, like-minded people. And so I'm very grateful that you have continued to be present with us during these programs. If there's anybody who has anything they want to ask in the last minute here before we wrap up for the day, I am happy to take a look at that. And I don't see anything coming through, so I'm going to say, again, I'm letting you know that we will not have a new live program next week. And but we'll be back after that, and I hope that you stay safe, that you stay healthy, and that your life and your family may all be blessed. So thank you for attending today, and we'll see you next time. Satnam, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.